KIMT News 3, coverage you can count on. This is KIMT News 3 at 6.
Rochester's Postal Service mail delay problem is starting to clear up. I'm KIMT News 3's Alec Lasham speaking with neighbors about the issue.
And it's the biggest nursing strike in U.S. history. More than 10,000 nurses in Minnesota are going on strike. What they want addressed from hospital executives.
And it certainly is a beautiful first day of September. We have plenty of sunshine here and some pretty warm temperatures as well, but I'm tracking a cool down as we head into your Labor Day weekend. A look at that forecast is coming up.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight for KIMT News 3 at 6. I'm Tyler Utska. First tonight, earlier this summer, we told you about mail delays with the United States Postal Service that were impacting Rochester neighborhoods. And tonight, KIMT News 3's Alec Lasham has an update for us. And Alec, what have you learned?
Well, Tyler, in late June, I visited a neighborhood in southeast Rochester that had been without mail for more than 8 days at a time. Today, I revisited that same neighborhood to see if that was still the case. I spoke with some of those same neighbors this afternoon who say the mail delay issue has improved significantly. They say for the most part, mail is arriving daily and in some cases every other day. This comes after Minnesota Senators Tina Smith and Amy Klobuchar both reached out to USPS Postmaster Louis DeJoy about the delays. I also asked Mayor Kim Norton if she has received an update from the Postal Service about the issue, but she says she has not. Norton adds she has spoken with some residents who say mail is arriving a lot sooner than before. I also reached out to the Postal Service to get an official update, which they say will be provided later this evening. Tyler.
All right, Alec, thank you very much. Now, we want to hear from you, too. Are you still receiving your mail late? And if so, how late? You can message us on Facebook at KIMT News 3, or you can send us an email to news@kimt.com. All right, let's get you the latest on the forecast now. Chief Meteorologist Aaron White, he joins us live from Seacap Orchard, just right on the outskirts of Rochester. And Aaron, it's pretty warm out there, currently 80 degrees.
Yeah, Tyler, it certainly is pretty toasty out here at Seacap Orchard. We got temperatures up into the 80s. Doesn't really feel like fall just yet. I mean, technically it is still summertime, and we have those summertime temperatures here on this first day of September. As we take a look at our current temperatures, we got 80 degrees here in Rochester. You can certainly feel it right now standing in the sunshine. We got 84 in Albert Lea, 82 in Mason City, 81 in Austin, and around 79 degrees in Osage. And the other side of things today, it's rather muggy. Our dew point is at 70 degrees right now, so you factor in temperatures in the 80s, dew points around 70. We have heat index values approaching the mid 80s, so definitely feeling summer-like here, and it's going to feel a bit summer-like as we go into tomorrow. As we look at our forecast, if you're thinking about doing some apple picking, of course, it's going to be pretty good as we get towards the weekend. Tomorrow, still looking pretty warm. We got a high around 86 degrees on your Friday, but the weekend, yeah, there you go. We got sunshine, 74 degrees on Saturday, 72 for a high on Sunday. It's going to be a beautiful weekend ahead, and I'll have a full look at your Labor Day weekend forecast coming up here in just a bit. Tyler?
All right, thank you very much, Aaron. Well, the Minnesota Nurses Association is taking a stand after voting in favor of authorizing a strike earlier this month. 15,000 nurses, many in the Twin Cities area, announced today they will be walking off the job for 3 days this month. Nurses continue to fight for safer work conditions. The Children's Minnesota Hospital in Minneapolis had to go on lockdown following another armed robbery outside the hospital. They say they can't keep patients safe if they're not safe. They also say hospital executives aren't doing enough to address matters like short staffing and improving patient care.
Today is a somber day. You know, over a decade ago, 12 years ago to be exact, 12,000 nurses went on strike in the metro. Today, 15,000 nurses in the Twin Cities, Duluth and Superior and Moose Lake are announcing our intent to strike. This strike is historic, not just because it will be the largest private sector nurses strike in United States history, but because it is the first time so many Minnesota nurses across the state will strike together.
That strike is scheduled to start on the morning of September 12th and go through September 15th. Many of these nurses have been working without contracts over the past few months. And more than 200,000 people who applied for hero pay in Minnesota were denied, and more than 1 million Minnesotans are getting an extra paycheck. The state will allocate $500 million to be divided among those who were approved, and those who were approved will get the money sometime between this month and next. It'll come as a direct deposit or a prepaid debit card. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz signed the frontline worker payment bills into law earlier this year on April 29th, and yesterday was the last day to appeal if you were denied. The Drug Enforcement Administration is alerting the public to an alarming trend called rainbow fentanyl. It comes in pills like this in powder form with bright colors and in all shapes and sizes. The new drug appears to be a way to appeal to young people. And just this month, law enforcement seized the drug in 18 states, with more than 107,000 Americans dying of drug overdoses in 2021, and 66% being the cause of synthetic opioids like fentanyl. It's a growing concern. The Olmsted County Sheriff's Office says deputies are seeing deaths from drugs like fentanyl more than double.
Certainly with these rainbow-colored pills, if children get a hold of them, it certainly could lead to more overdose deaths, more medical issues with these fentanyl pills that aren't, legit. They're not from a pharmacy. They're made in a laboratory in Mexico and shipped across the border by whoever brings them here.
And Captain Bromberg says while law enforcement hasn't seen rainbow fentanyl yet, they still pose a risk down the line, as do the traditionally light blue fentanyl pills that are already in our area. Well, it's almost time for waterfowl hunting season in Minnesota, and the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services are giving some advice when it comes to avian flu in wild birds. And later, if you're living in Rochester, you're invited to get up and move before the cold weather keeps us indoors. How to get involved with the Fall Fit City Challenge.
KIMT News 3 at 6. Your local news with KIMT News 3's Tyler Yutzka. Tracking storms with Storm Team 3 Chief Meteorologist Aaron White. This is KIMT News 3. More local news that is happening right now. We are coverage you can count on.